Hello everyone and now welcome to a matchup between Happy versus Tho, a matchup that seems to be of epic proportions. Two names very popular in the sport, very well known. Tho I actually believe to be a quote-unquote retired player. He doesn't actually play for professional teams anymore, but he is still he's arguably the best random player out there, and he used to play human. I wanted to see this matchup, and well, it is going to be a human versus undead matchup. Tho spawning as the blue human player on the top left-hand side of the map. He did choose random and got human, so I am looking forward to what Tho can pull out of his bag of tricks. Meanwhile, Happy, well, playing undead, no big surprises there as things are already getting underway. Altar of Darkness, Crypt, and we'll see what the Acolyte is going to be doing. Tomb of Relics is already down as the Acolyte now makes its way out across the map. Is he going to try to do some sort of reveal to figure out what his opponent's race is? No, just simply going to walk over, as it is going to be a traditional Archmage. No blood mage first or any of those particular shenanigans, as the units will be making their way out. One of the ways that human can often try and battle up against undead is trying to go for a blood mage as a second or a third hero. Thank you for the cheer, favorite announcer of all time, and the thank you very much. Every cheer and every bit does definitely help. Yeah. Thank you very much, and hopefully this game will not disappoint. Yeah, I appreciate the generous outpour of. I believe I was getting a little bit of subs even when I wasn't casting. After you guys know how hard I work to try and keep this channel going, people have asked me, don't I get bored with this? And part of the reason I don't get bored is that I'm able to enjoy these replays with you and see your responses as well, and see how great Warcraft 3 can be, even decades after its original release, or soon to be decades after its original release. Death Knight now making its way off to the north here. Militia trying to clear up this creep camp, and trying to finish things off. We're looking at the little healer healing up that little Murloc right there. Death Coil, does he get it? No, Death Knight did not get it. Is he going to get any of the experience at all? That is the question. Gets denied there, and Death Knight gets no experience at all. Though somehow able to just bring in the pain there. Level 2 on the Archmage. No deny on that one peasant, though, as another peasant, thank you for the sub, as the peasants now continuing to come back around. Archmage continuing to battle it up. Once again, there is a Death Coil once more, as the Death Knight is adding up some kills, getting 3 peasant kills, and now making its way back out. Thank you for the subs. I believe, did someone gift some subs? I think someone did gift some subs. I need a third monitor to keep track of my Twitch dashboard as well. And I don't know, if I had more items to give out, would people really enjoy subbing to me more? Let me know in comments below. I think there's still only one viewer, so a DL, if you were giving out more subs, thank you very much. Edge, and I don't even think Edge is going to be surprised when he comes over and realizes, hey, wait a second, I'm subbed to Crota. When did that happen? All right, battling up still happening here. Militia trying to, go back into that peasant form and still build up this expansion. But the Death Knight is still sitting at level 1. He is really low on mana, and many of the other peasants are low on hit points, but there is no more Rod of Necromancy charges, no more mana available, and that is just going to work out well. How many subs were gifted? Seems like, was it like 8 so far? Very well, thank you very much. Every sub does definitely help. Death Knight now picking up a Rod of Necromancy from that Crypt Fiend. A little FedEx, UPS, Amazon Prime delivery there, as the Death Knight now makes its way off to the north once again. All right, tower going to try to be established. Death Knight now going to use that Rod of Necromancy, try and get some additional peasants out here onto the battlefield. Archmage unable to get any additional creeping going, as another Militia or another Murloc going to get taken out. Major battle happening all the way through here. Peasant now trying to retreat back. That is a ton of subs. Thank you very much, as we're looking at the Death Knight now trying to retreat back once more. Crypt Fiend continuing to engage again, as the peasants are now trying to retreat back as well. Crypt Fiend just wandering around along the backside here, peasants and militia trying to push things back as the Archmage still sitting only at level 2. Death Knight sitting at level 1, getting closer to level 2. And back at home, this is the story. We are now nearing tier 2. We should be able to get up a Lich, an Obsidian statue, and then perhaps try and prolong that push. The Death Knight, at some point, though, will need to let his foot off of the gas in terms of this pressure, and, well, Happy needs to try and hope that he did enough damage, and that the economic advantage is not going to be too much to try and overcome. Peasants now coming over to try and repair here. Another peasant quickly, or another skeletal minion quickly getting taken down, trying to rack things up, trying to clear things up, as well as we're going to be looking at those last couple skeletal minions not going to be giving level 3 to that Archmage, but getting awfully close. 2 Crypt Fiends, 1 low hit point Death Knight. Happy playing on a razor's edge of a sword, being able to keep that Death Knight alive and well. All right, the units now coming back off to the north to the other people who just joined the channel. Well, if you joined earlier, you would have been able to perhaps get a free sub, as the footmen now looking to retreat back again. All right, a little bit of a flicker there. Not quite sure what that was about. All right, Archmage now getting in front of the Death Knight. Death Knight may be forced to try and retreat and run all the way back home, down to sub 100 hit points. 1 or 2 more shots should do it. Archmage does not have Boots of Speed, but the Death Knight does not have the all-important Unholy Aura to try and outrun. Archmage getting off those attacks there, down to 30 hit points, as the Death Knight now tries to retreat back, but a Crypt Fiend able to get in harm's way, and now that Death Knight, dangerously close to dead, able to run all the way back home, was sub 29 hit points for a moment, as the Archmage, if it had Boots of Speed, may have been able to catch up and get in the necessary damage. Archmage now looking to get up to level 3. The downside for Tho is he did invest very heavily into footmen. All right, I am absolutely dumbfounded and shocked at the number of footmen that I'm seeing on this battlefield right now. And this, well, squadron of footmen, or platoon of footmen, or regiment, is it regiment? I don't know, but a collection of sword-based units are trying to rush on into this position here, and this is just going to be a very inefficient army, but now going to try and dive on into this position. All right, this is a suicide run. It is going to feed a little bit of experience, but it is going to slow down the economy and slow down the tech, as the Archmage now teleports inside, dropping in some additional things as well. Death Coil trying to save in some of those units. Archmage dropping in water elementals, and this was I thought was a one-way in maneuver, but no, some of these footmen may end up staying alive. Acolytes no longer mining, and Archmage of Tho says, you know what, I too can disrupt your economy. All the Acolytes are hiding off over here, and we are going to see Halls of the Dead already up to Black Citadel, so the Acolytes could end up getting taken down now. Archmage, or a Death Knight, could be in a little bit of trouble. No, uses a potion of healing, able to stay alive, as the Archmage continuing to crank out a whole bunch of things as well. All right, Death Knight at level 2, Lich is sitting at level 1. More water elementals could be dropped down here in just a moment. Cooldown, need another 3 seconds, as the Archmage finally says, you know what, I don't want to stick around here any longer with your Obsidian statue. You will just be, and while being on Blight, you are just going to regenerate too many hit points. That is indeed a very, very big deal. Death Knight now makes its way back off to the north here. We are getting up that Blacksmith, a beautiful play coming across from Tho, and I was wondering what he could really do with those footmen. And Tho knew that he needed to use the footmen before their window of usefulness closed completely. He dove on in with about 10 footmen, and maybe there were some kills from the new Rubian towers to finish things off, though, but he was able to stop a bit of mining. That's a way to try and press the advantage, even though it didn't make a lot of logical play. The Death Knight now going to be at level 3 very soon, and the Lich is already going to be at level 2. That is going to be a problem to overcome, but that was going to be a problem he was going to have to face and deal with eventually anyways. He now freed up some supply. He can start training up some riflemen as well. As soon as the Blacksmith is done, not quite sure why he hasn't transitioned into that as of yet. And you can see there are actually a large number of towers, even though no masonry upgrades have been started. All right, coming back on through, Death Knight is at 3. Lich will be, well, getting closer as well. What is happening here? Tho finding windows of opportunity to try and clear out his opponent's creep camps, and by doing so also take away some of that precious experience as well. Death Knight looking perhaps trying to figure out if he can find out where his opponent is, as we see 4 circlets of nobility on this Archmage. All right, another all-in maneuver coming across. There are some Spirit Towers, Nerubian Towers. Footmen are just going to go ahead and dive on in. Acolytes trying to retreat back, as well as, well, what is going to be ending up going down here. A little bit of damage. Spirit Tower now done. Footmen with defend. And the Archmage pretty much says, this time I do not have a Scroll of Town Portal. I may purposely be freeing up supply as low hit point ghouls are getting taken down. Archmage now looking to back away here. Footmen with defend, just causing problems, trying to disrupt a lot of the mining, as we see a Pit Lord with Rain of Fire as that third and final hero. Footmen continuing to try and put pressure here. This is going to give more experience to the units, but this is actually a little bit of a bonus as well. By purposely running the Footman into his opponents while the Death Knight, the Lich, and the Pit Lord are at lower levels, it is going to make the creeping more ineffective. If you did not know, the higher level you are on your heroes, the less experience you get on your heroes from creeps. Enemy units still give you the same amount of experience, and that could be a reason or why this tactic may end up working. There's so much to consider here, as well, diving in head on with Footman just to die is normally not the play you want to try and make. All right, in comes Rain of Fire. Mountain King, however, with a Stormbolt, able to stop that Rain of Fire in its tracks and drain a lot of the mana out of that Pit Lord. Crypt Fiends are working overtime as well, trying to finish off some of these units. Archmage and Mountain King working together with a rather small army. Only 2 heroes and 1 footman out onto the battlefield, or just being trained at all. Perhaps going to be trying to transition in the knights here in just a moment. Guard towers don't even have any upgrades. Mountain King continuing to fight back across here. Arcane Tower is already gone, so you're not going to get any more mana drain on from any of those heroes either. Destroyers are already out. How is Tho going to hold on to this? Yes, that Archmage has a bunch of crowns, but that may not amount to very much of anything. Guard towers continuing to try and, well, defend against this location here, but this is just still an uphill battle. Many Crypt Fiends, now 20 supply. Are we going into Knights? Where's the rest of that human army, as Rain of Fire quickly, well, slows down much of the things here. More engagement happening. Destroyers able to devour magic off of the water elemental, as this expansion may end up going down. A big icy blast right there, taking down 4 peasants. They're all just trying to run away. All 6 peasants lay dead in the water, as Tho gonna lose this expansion that he fought so hard to hold on to in the early portion of the game. Mountain King, however, now wearing all of those circlets of nobility, and this might actually come as a bit of a surprise. A level 1 Mountain King with 900 hit points, 345 mana, and he's going to be trying to dive on in here. This is not going to work out well. Militia now trying to make their way over. Flying machines. It was a squadron of flying machines being brought back over, and now trying to go after the units on the ground. Mass flying machines dealing with the destroyers. The destroyers now trying to retreat back here. Mountain King should be able to get off a couple of storm bolts, and there are the knights with Sundering Blades as a built-in effect already. In comes a Death Coil for trying to get one of those saves. Paladin as that third hero. So Mountain King and Knights already on the move. More Knights being trained up here as another Crypt Fiend gets taken down. Archmage, Knights, Mountain King, Paladin. All right, transitioning back over. We may need to get some repairs over here as well. How many peasants are working? Only 13 peasants. Getting up a new Arcane Vault. A lot of squadron of buildings once more, as the units are going to be rolling on out. Pit Lord sitting at level 1. Paladin sitting at level 1. The real difference is the level 3 Lich versus the level 1 Mountain King. All right. That was a sudden burst of experience coming across, and a great comeback by Tho, being able to train up that many units. Archmage not going to try and go after some of these units off to the north here. Paladin and that burst heal is going to be incredibly important, as we're looking at Slippers of Agility being picked up by the Archmage. Coming back around, the flying machines looking to find if there are any destroyers out in the open anywhere. I don't believe the flying machines have any upgrades. No ground attack upgrades, but he does see that there is now a Temple of the Damned being added in once more. All right. Double level up. Mountain King and Paladin both level up to level 2. Mountain King going for Bash. Paladin going for Divine Shield. Water Elemental should just get absolutely denied right there, as we're looking at, well, the production of units slowing down as we are currently supply blocked. All right, more peasants just working together here and not replacing the towers, knowing that he has a rather fast moving army. by going for knights and flying machines. He knows that he can generally get into position rather quickly. Here we are. There goes a Frost Nova, Rain of Fire, but all the units are quickly backed away. Here, flying machines now trying to chase after some of those destroyers, but no destroyers to be found. As the Pit Lord looks like it could end up, well, nope, getting in a couple of kills on those peasants again as they try to go back to work. All right, using this opportunity, Tho gonna go after this red creep camp in the top right-hand side of the map. Knights in the front line as we are looking at Happy finally going into low upkeep, 51 over 70 supply, and he looks like he's going to be staying there as he doesn't want to cancel those Banshees. Coming back around, we are looking at the Granite Golem getting absolutely surrounded here. Some more damage here. Archmage is going to take some of that experience and not give level 3 to the Mountain King or the Paladin, as the Mountain King now racks up to, 5 circlets of nobility, and now giving the Hood of Cunning to the Paladin instead. Boots of Quel'Tha Lost. Is that going to be... Oh, sheesh. All right. So trying to, item management, also one of those things here is mass skeletal minions waking their way across here, but the water elemental is going to make short work out of them, but more peasants could end up getting taken down. Another creep camp going to get cleared up. Mountain King and Paladin, both with very, very large amounts of mana. Mountain King actually with a high amount of armor, surprisingly, up to almost 8, as we're going to see a Gloves of Haste on the Mountain King for those additional bashes. Item management going to be absolutely key here as we're looking at still more skeletal minions racing back off to the north. One water elemental trying to offer a bit of protection as we see knights now diving into the Temple of the Dam. All right, mortar team joining in on the battle here to get in a bit of damage. That mortar team really needs to get closer into the action. He does not want to be left out completely wide open, as we're looking at the mortar teams, getting into position here. Mortar teams, perhaps fragmentation shards can do a little bit more damage against those units. Stormbolt finishing off things, double level up. Mortar team getting taken down though. Paladin and Mountain King now with level 2 Holy Light, level 2 Stormbolt, and that burst damage and burst heal could really drastically change things. 60 supply compared to 74. Units are trying to retreat back. One water elemental easily going to get taken down as the Crypt Fiend. Another Frost Nova Death Coil 1-2 combination, and those riflemen simply just don't stand a chance. Stormbolt onto the Lich, turning around, trying to fight back around. Holy Light trying to save some mortar teams. Mortar teams trying to splash in some damage onto the Banshees, and here we are, 75 supply compared to 62. Both sides engaging. Army sizes are about the same, as there's an expansion for Tho and more workers continuing to battle it up. Archmage going to turn back around, try to throw in some more down, as there is no Staff of Sanctuary to save any of those knights, and that does come as a surprise, as Tho, and once you go into knights, often goes into Staff of Sanctuaries, as that saves a unit at pretty much at an equivalent exchange cost right there. Water Elemental turning things back around. A bunch of low hit point mortars could have been the target of, Death Coil Frost Nova very quickly, but no follow-up there. All right. There is, yes, one rifleman forgotten on the top right across there. Meanwhile, Pit Lord getting in some Rain of Fire damage across all of these peasants once again. This expansion may end up getting shut down. Main bases only have about, 5 or 4.5 minutes of mining left. And that is going to be coming to an end. This one down here has 6 minutes of mining because Happy was forced to stop mining a couple of times throughout the match. Flying machine still ready to go. We can see that there are these gargantuan sea turtles in the corners that could easily be cleared up. Meanwhile, the flying machines don't have the bombs yet, and I'm still curious as to why they don't have the bombs to try and be useful against those Banshees. Usefulness against Banshees incredibly important. Meanwhile, the Pit Lord continuing damage over and over with that Rain of Fire, preventing any real mining as the units continuing to retreat back. Perhaps we should be getting in some repairs on that town hall as well, as we're looking at the Death Knight and the Lich clearing off one of these gargantuan sea turtle creep camps. All right. Archmage finally getting up a Staff of Sanctuary. Nothing currently being regenerated at all. Mountain King going Stormbolt Happy onto the Mountain King. Mountain King does have faster movement, or has fast movement speed, faster attack speed. Going to go ahead, get another Stormbolt down onto the Pit Lord. Perhaps getting another bash as more damage still racking back up. Meanwhile, main armies are going to go ahead and engage against each other here. Death Knight, Paladin. Going to go ahead and try and engage once more, as we're looking at more damage coming back through. Pit Lord may end up getting, a Death Coil right there. Archmage was not nearby enough for that Orb of Fire debuff to reduce the amount of healing. All right. Archmage, Staff of Teleportations being transferred around, Talisman of Evasion. What? All right, item shopping and accessorizing, an important part of this Warcraft 3 matchup. Almost feels like a game of Dota with items swapping around as the Archmage dropping in some water elementals here. Mountain King wants to come in for an engagement, but the Knights are just in a tough spot. Banshees are off on the side here, and are we going to have some possessions? Yes, we are. There's the possession on the Mortar team. Going to go ahead and switch sides there as they were hard. There's the engagement. Archmage continuing to battle it up here. Potion of Invulnerability. Both sides fighting. 69 supply compared to 64 fly machines. Unable to do very much. One Mortar team in the back there. Are the Banshees going to end up getting taken down? No, we are still seeing units trying to fight and engage as the Archmage gets up to level 5. Mortar teams taking absolute damage once again. 63 supply compared to 56. And where are all of the units going as Riflemen are getting taken out as well? There's some more Death Coils coming back across. We're looking at the Archmage perhaps trying to get some damage onto the Lich. Lich could be in a little bit of trouble. Doesn't have the Orb of Fire. There goes Orb of Fire, but the Death Coil was in the time as another Crypt Queen going to get taken down. Knight's going to continue to battle it up. More Riflemen just trying to move around the map once again as one Mortar finally getting taken out there. Archmage could be in some major trouble. Down to 135 hit points. Where is the heal? There's the heal right there as the units are still trying to engage. Are we going to see some damage onto that Crypt Queen? Crypt Queen ends up getting taken down. More damage could be coming back across. Big Death Coil right there as the units all getting healed back up. Paladin and Mountain King now both low on mana. Both sides are going to try and engage again. Mountain King perhaps could have gotten a lucky bash, but no quite sign yet. And that Mountain King, even though it looks very low on mana, still has enough mana for another Stormbolt. That is a key thing to be watching. If you look at the mana on the mana bars on the Mountain King and on that Paladin, it looks relatively low. But because of their abnormally high intelligence from items, Circlet of Nobilities, Hood of Cunning, they could actually have 2, if not 3 of those spells in them ready to go. All right, coming back across here, it looks like it's going to be a bit of a creepjack. Giant sea turtle going to end up getting taken down. Paladin could get up to level 4, which could give level 2 devotion or level 1 devotion, or that is going to be a very big deal there as both sides are fighting. There's a knight. Knight quickly gets taken down. No Staff of Sanctuary save as the units are trying to retreat back. Gargantuan sea turtle could end up getting taken down. Mountain King, where is it? Mountain King still going after that Pit Lord. Going to go ahead and get another Stormbolt right there, and then now perhaps trying to get in a lucky bash or two, unable to do exactly that. Mountain King and the Pit Lord are just playing this game as the Pit Lord is trying to shut down the expansion best as he can. Mountain King now backs away as the main gold mines, 30 seconds left and 100 seconds left of mining there. Expansion of Tho doesn't have that much gold either, only down to 6 minutes or 5.5 minutes of mining as well. With that said, are we gonna how is Happy going to transition in this and pivot in this late game scenario? He can always try to do an unsummoning of his buildings and go in for a last full on push. That could be his gameplay and his plan. He could try to set up an expansion of his own. And then, how is Tho going to respond? Tho does have a large number of items, more items than I've seen. I don't think ever. All 3 heroes are completely maxed out with useful items. Slippers of Agility perhaps being the least useful item across the entire bunch. But yeah, this is a plethora of items on this human army to make these heroes just that much stronger and much more effective in a late game scenario. All right, we do see flying machines keeping track of things. There are Banshees now trying to wander back around. Remember, possession is on the table, so Knights are no longer nearly as powerful as the Banshees will just simply possess them and make them turn to a different color. 5-5-3, soon to be 5-5-4 on that Pit Lord, going up against a 5-3-4. And now, skeletal minions here to try and disrupt a bit of the expansion attempt here at the what I'll call the 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock starting expansion location. Thank you for the bits once again, and DL. Death Coil Frost Nova quickly finding another Mortar team right there, and Well, that is the power of the undead army. And look at this entire green undead army here as well. Are we perhaps going to see a Stormbolt onto it? Just go after the Banshee and finish it off. Stormbolt it and yep, blast it down to death right there. More units still fighting in that front line position here. Death Coil, Frost Nova, level 4 now on the Pit Lord, as we could be looking. No Stormbolts going across the mortar teams in the back line here. Are we going to use that Scroll of Healing to try and offset some of that as well? Abomination in that front line, causing problems. Another Death Coil in the front line. Staff of Sanctuary continuing to save up some of those units that I think Banshees were trying to possess, as both sides are fighting their way again. Paladin in that front, still in that front line, trying to absorb a bit of damage. One possessed Rifleman going to end up getting taken down by his friends, as more units are still coming back across. Level 4 now on that. Level 4 now on that Mountain King, trying to go after the level 5 Lich. Lich does get a Death Coil, but Orb of Fire makes it difficult, as a big Frost Nova what closes out 2 additional Riflemen again. 54 supply compared to 43. An expansion is trying to be built off to the side. Staff of Teleportation inbound, as the Mountain King going to Stormbolt and finish off that Ghoul, as the units are now looking to retreat back. Holy Light does try to save. Water Elementals could turn back around, get in a little bit of damage here, and at least cause a little bit of traffic. 38 supply compared to 47, but the undead army just looks so strong. Look at those Obsidian statues. Look at the Banshees and look at the undead heroes making their way over. Dark Ritual now on the Lich, able to just launch in more and more Frost Novas. More Knights joining back in, as I believe those were the Knights that were trying to be possessed and ended up able to stay alive after those Staff of Sanctuaries breaking that connection. More attacks getting underway. Water Elementals trying to finish off some of those Banshees. I think they'll be able to do exactly that. No, going after some of those Obsidian statues instead, as the Banshees, with their additional magic and magic protection, anti-magic shell, able to protect against so much damage from the Paladin's Holy Light and also those Stormbolts. Continuing all of this pressure once more. Stormbolt now onto the Lich. Lich no longer having anti-magic shell, but that can be remedied pretty quickly, as the mortar teams are now making their way back over. Water Elementals also being cursed as well. Such a great, such useful utility on those Banshees, being able to counter up so many things that the human player is trying to do all at the same time. Staff of Sanctuary saves one. Staff of Sanctuary saves the Paladin, as the Knight now could be in a little bit of trouble, needs to retreat back, and doesn't want to give level 5 to that Pit Lord or any additional experience unless it is absolutely necessary. Units now trying to retreat back once more, as we do see a little bit of mining happening down here. Once again, this is Tho running up on 3 bases and still unable to come away with a victory, while Happy is running on, well, completely out of gold here. 44 supply compared to 58, or Rain of Fire coming to an end. All of these peasants are now dead. Off to the north, a couple of ghouls trying to finish off all of these units here. Knights now trying to close in on that distance. Are we going to see a Stormbolt? No, Knights able to just push away these ghouls again, as a Scroll of Regeneration being used to heal up all of these units. Staff of Sanctuaries being used aggressively to heal up those Knights, as well as the expansion at the 8 o'clock location will end up falling. All right, is there enough gas in the tank for Tho to try and overcome this? He has the larger army, but it still somehow feels like he is behind after all this time. Banshee could end up easily getting taken down. There's an absolute splat there. 2 units falling there, as the Holy Light's continuing to try and save more units. Stormbolt catching a Pit Lord again. Another slow down right there, as the Pit Lord is not really suffering any damage there. Still, anti-magic shell doing quite a bit of protection. Knights now trying to make their way back over. Death Coil on to a low hit point. Mortar team not getting Staff of Sanctuary or Holy Light. Oh, Holy Light right there, as the battle is still raging on. Mountain King trying to make its way forward, trying to catch up to some of these units. Again, mortar teams getting in a little bit of splash damage. Again, there's another Death Coil trying to finish off those Banshees. Those Banshees, such a key part of this battle here, as the Mountain King unable to Stormbolt, waiting to get a Stormbolt off. There's a Holy Light right there, and nope, unable to take down that Banshee, as the Banshee able to slip away again. All right, level 2 Holy Light unable to finish off that Banshee there, as it continues to heal back up. Mountain King not getting the bashes to try and stun down these Obsidian statues. So many Obsidian statues to try and still give hit points and mana, as we still see a bit of mining. Well, no more mining left here at all. Rain of Fire also stopping things up a bit more, as we're still looking at the heroes trying to make their way over. Knights could try and lead the charge here. Mountain King perhaps laying down some sort of Stormbolt. No, and anti-magic shell galore across multiple units. There goes a Stormbolt, and the Banshee just kind of laughs it off. Mortar teams trying to rain down some damage off during that stun time, but still unable to finish off that Banshee again. More units chasing, 51 supply compared to 54. Undead now taking the supply lead as there's some long distance mining off on the far side, or perhaps a new expansion trying to be established by Tho. Units still trying to chase here, getting in a little bit of damage. Bash onto an obsidian statue, just what he needed to take down one of Happy's obsidian statues. 3 obsidian statues are still left. If a Mountain King can get another bash onto an obsidian statue, that would be huge, but unable to catch up to it as the unholy aura of the Death Knight speeds up those obsidian statues just enough. All right, a new expansion attempting to be built. Archmage sitting at level 5. Paladin is at 4. Mountain King is at 4. Level 3 Water Elementals. Level 2 Brilliant Aura. Water Elemental continuing to fight there. Are we going to see Rain of Fire, Staff of Sanctuary quickly saving one of those units? Death Knight now trying to dive on it, saving another unit once again as the Rain of Fire is just causing so much traffic across the side here. Flying Machine Squadron still wandering around here. The Flying Machine Squadron unable to do any damage as it doesn't have those bombs. But the downside is if it has the bombs, it often ignores destroyers and goes after some other units here. Thank you for the cheer as there is an expansion over here, yes, by the undead. All right, now it is 2 bases or 1 base operational for Happy, and this is still going strong. Mountain King continuing trying to fight back. We see another Death Coil Frost Nova, not necessarily in that order, to finish off another Rifleman there, and Undead is just continuing to push further and further. Mountain King now looking to run back off to the north here. Paladin continuing to try and fight his way through as we see mortar teams just lobbing attacks against all of these Banshees again and again. Are the mortar teams going to be able to finish off these Banshees? That is the question, as the Mountain King now could be in a little bit of trouble. He gets teleported out of that situation as we now see some possession onto the mortar teams too. All right, there's a double kill onto those Banshees right there as the Archmage could be in a little bit of trouble. Archmage stays alive for a little bit longer. Mountain King continuing to fight. Knight getting taken down. Now going after the Lich. Lich down to 137 hit points. Could end up getting taken down with Holy Light saving the Archmage. Both sides still fighting their way through. Death Knight. Death Coil onto the Lich. Lich had a full heal again as the Paladin trying to finish off or trying to save that Mountain King. Mountain King ended up to be saved as we now see Siege Engines rotating in from Tho. Tho changing things up and now going into Siege Engines to try and stop. And the mortar team could actually have a little bit of trouble here. There's that bash. It gets taken down, and a transition into Siege Engines may completely catch, as it has me Happy off guard. Siege Engine rotation to now take down this haunted gold mine. And with that said, well, forcing a little bit of a fight here. Obsidian statues, we're looking at 48 supply compared to 43, 35 supply army compared to 43, as we see the unsummoning of that haunted gold mine here. Both sides still fighting it up here. Knight's taking a little bit of damage. Paladin could be in a little bit of trouble, has no easy way to heal up as the Siege Engines now have no additional targets to try and go after. Mountain King not going to gain any additional experience whatsoever. There is a destroyer in the air, but I believe Flying Machines may be coming over to try and stop that in its tracks as well. All right. The sudden appearance of Siege Engines changing the landscape of the battle. And, well, hats off to Tho for finding the right combination of units to shut down that expansion. I thought with that expansion, things were just going to go better and better for Happy. Instead, Happy now being forced to unsummon buildings to go into that last-ditch effort push strategy that we've seen undead players and Happy use time and time again. All right, canceled Staff of Telly. So much going on in that battle to try and figure out ultimately what was happening there. More flying machines getting added in, 2 destroyers in the air. There are a bunch of Banshees on the ground. Mortar teams are there to try and counter that, but that is going to be the question. Will it be enough? Flying machines do have those flak cannons, and are they going to engage? Here we are going to go ahead and engage right there. One destroyer could get taken down. Another destroyer could easily get taken down as Rain of Fire causing problems. It looks as though a rifleman is going to end up getting possessed and going to easily get taken down. It has turned code as we're looking at 47 supply compared to 41. Archmage now running around in a circle. Paladin can come back around, gets in the Holy Light as well, but still sitting only at level 4. May need to use a Divine Shield, and does use the Divine Shield as well. Banshees continuing to battle it up here. Stormbolt onto, or a bash onto the Death Knight there. Both sides continuing to fight as the Paladin looks to back away. No easy way for him to heal aside from items here. Water Elemental going to end up getting taken down rather quickly as the Banshee is able to laugh off much of that damage. The Squadron of Flying Machines still not doing very very much. Paladin now trying to retreat back as well. Water Elemental trying to retreat back. Where is those upgrades? Yes, Flying Bomb upgrades finally going to be added. Meanwhile, a bunch of Riflemen and Ghouls finishing off the expansion off to the side here. Water Elemental is going to try and engage, and here we are. That is a lot of Banshees that could suffer from the carpet bombing runs from those flying machines, and they should be joining in on the battle since they are there. All right, more damage coming on through. Archmage going to try and fight through. Where are the flying machines going? There's some Staff of Sanctuaries trying to save up some of those units, and here we are. The flying machines are still not doing anything, even though they have a ground attack right now. All right, ground attack, getting a little bit of separation across all of those units. Flying machine's going to try and engage. Paladin falls at level 4. The army in the back finally gets taken down, and Tho leaves the game. After the Paladin falls, as the Paladin was the glue that was holding the human heroes together. Human being up 2.5 bases, 3 bases, still unable to deal with the possession, the anti-magic shell, the curse, and so much. A great game between Happy and Tho. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This game, well, perhaps one of the best games between two of the best players in the world. Let me know what you guys thought.